For all you ground-uppers out there, this podcast is for you.
Hey guys, this is the Fana Fan Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Topless, and for all you ground-uppers out there, this podcast is for you. And tonight, we are rejoined by one of our favourite scouts that came on in season one. It's Dan. How are you, mate?
Hi guys, how are you doing, guys? You okay? All good?
Good,
Thank
mate.
you.
How
Thank
are
you for
you?
coming back.
No, you're welcome. Anytime you want. All good.
So, as you already said in the first podcast, we've been a Wednesday fan. Later on in the podcast, we're going to put you through your paces with a Sheffield Wednesday best 11.
Brilliant. Can't wait to unveil that.
So, obviously, since we spoke before, obviously we know you're a scout. We've also just received, heard some news as well about your scouting elsewhere as well. Do you want to explain a bit more about it?
Yeah, in the last season I left Alum. Thank you for the time. Really good club, but also a bit curtailment. I thought it was time to move on. And then out of the blue, I got a message from a guy I used to work at Leeds United with and said, look, I'm working a club in Cambodia called Solito Angkor. I'm like, right, okay, sounds interesting, something different. Obviously, Cambodia's way away from here. Time difference is quite funny as well, 6 hours. And he said, look, we come up from league like championships, or they call it League One or C2, they call it. And they said, look, we need somebody like you to come in, watch oppositions, watch potential players, do it all via video. I went, yeah, let's do it. So at the moment, the Cambodia league on international break. The club, disappointingly, are bottom of the league at this current time. But they did win today in a pre-season game against the rivals called Tiger Angkor 3-1. So we're hoping that the momentum will get us into league season starting again on Saturday against National Police.
What a name, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not British Police Commission either. It's Cambodia's police.
Fantastic. So, do you like watch the games from home then, and just
Yeah. So basically, on Facebook, if you type in Cambodian Football League, all their highlights from all their games and the national team are on there. So all I do is the fixture list, find the relevant video, download it, and then watch it on my laptop. Take out notes for, as I said before, like defensive plays, who the main player is, what style of play they play, formation, strength, weaknesses. Put it on a Word document for Gaffer, and then email it on, and then he tells them basically how to play against various teams. Obviously, it's not worked so far because they're bottom at league. I wish they'd listen a bit more, but as I say, they won a pre-season game today, friendly game against the rivals. So hopefully, they've listened to coach, and when we say we play national place on 4th, and then we play somebody. I think I can't remember, we play on 11th. Basically, it's like split into two because of COVID. So they split it into two. So they'll play eight games against teams that are in that division, and then it'll split into a top 6 and a bottom 7. So depending where we finish, which at this current time we're bottom, and I'd like to say a couple of places up would be nice, then we'll play the bottom 7 again like a round robin. Then the team that finishes bottom goes down, and then the team in C2 goes up. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the guys will get out there, put ball back in net, stop conceding, and basically play to the plan and do as they're told, yeah?
Wow, Cambodia. Of all countries as well, yeah. You don't really hear about them in the football pyramid, do you? But that's fantastic.
I mean, the best team out there is probably a couple of teams. Is Prey Veng FC. They're quite well off, and there's a club called Visaka, and there's a guy called Marcus Aber who plays there. If you know Marcus Aber, USA international, sorry, not USA, Canadian, played for Leeds United, played for I think Dundee as well. Stevenage he played quite a few seasons for, and he's like one of the stars of the league really. But they have got a lot of local players who are decent, some Japanese, some Brazilians. There's a guy called Cristiano Douglas who plays out there. He's decent as well. So standard football, I would say, guys, is at about, I'd say, League One level. The pitches are a bit dry because of the climate over there. It's really warm during the day. They play like half-freeze, like warmest part of the day. Some teams basically will just sit back. I'll usually go park bus and they'll just defend and defend and defend. Some other clubs will come out and attack, but some of the games I've watched are they're dire. They're really bad. It's really hard watching. But some games I watch, I think that's all right. But I'd say it's about a League One level, guys. To be honest.
Okay. Not too bad then.
No, it could be worse. It could be conference, but I'd say about League One.
Okay. Have you come across any players whilst in your video analysis what think you could transition to the top leagues in the English league?
Or to the English game, full stop, because it's I guess it must be totally different to Cambodia.
I would say the lad Cristiano Douglas. I can't recall who he plays for. He would do all right, probably Championship, League One. Obviously, Marcus Aber, Canadian international. He's played in England before. I'd definitely say him. It's like a lot of these players' names are in Cambodian, so a lot of them, I don't know names of them because of language barrier. But there's 2 or 3 who would be out there. I'd say, you know what, 2 or 3 of them would have a chance of playing in England. But a lot of them are quite accustomed to playing in Asia, so like Japan, South Korea, Philippines, Thailand. A lot of the players generated from that Asian area, to be fair, more than coming over here.
Fair enough. Well, it's one of them as well, especially in the Chinese Super League now, which is in that area. You can just earn as much money as what you can in the Premier League right now.
But I know Chinese Super League obviously are capping foreign players, capping wages, salaries, and they're trying to bring it more in house, have more Chinese national field. It's happening like in Russia. Russia did the same. They put money into players like Eto'o. We went to Angie Makaskala and made a killing there. To be fair, I think other leagues in the future, when COVID decides to go away, I think a lot of other leagues will start to put money into football and try and make it a big sport in that country again.
Completely agree.
Yeah, it's a big country like China. You expect to be in the World Cup every year, every time, don't you, really?
I mean, some of their minds, they've had like Marcel Lippi and they've had Cannavaro coaching China, and it's not having a big name, but tactically and language barrier-wise, the Chinese players often need a translator to translate what Lippi and Cannavaro were saying. I think that's where they kind of messed up because they didn't have somebody who could have their own language, understand what they wanted tactically. I mean, as we all know, China's a massive country, both politically and in sport. And I just think maybe not this time, the time after China might start to rise again nationally within the national team.
Yeah. They've been there before, haven't they?
Yeah,
there's not been that many big names. The only one I can recall is that guy played for City, Sun Ji Hai.
Yeah, the guy who played for Celtic as well, the striker. I can't recall his name, but the guy who played for Celtic, he was Chinese as well. I can't recall who he is, but I know he played for Celtic. Yeah. And obviously, they say the Man City guy as well.
Well, it was one of them a few years back, and quite a while back now. Sheffield United had like a core team out in China, and it was called Chengdu Blade.
Yes, yeah,
and it was one of Kevin McCabe's ways of trying to find players in that area, what he can bring through to Sheffield United. And I think, I don't think the Chengdu Blades are a team anymore. I think they got done for match fixing.
Yeah, I think they got dissolved, didn't they? Because they were all giving backhanders to all different referees and players and oppositions and that. Yeah. But out there in Asia, as you guys probably know or not know, it's prevalent out there. It happens all over Asia, betting markets, small leagues. You know what I mean? Money goes through various different avenues over there, to be fair, which is a shame. If they can't win on pitch, they'll try and win it behind back.
Yeah. Looking at it now, I think they are still a team, but it's no longer. I think it's called Chengdu Tiancheng FC now.
Right. What division are they in? Are they in Super League or it's CSL 2?
They are in If we can find out. I don't think it says on there.
No.
Oh, it says was a professional club, so I don't think they are a professional club anymore.
Been dissolved then. Interesting. No, I remember Ken McCabe doing that, and obviously, as you say, trying to unearth some Asian talent. And it's all right, as you say, if you're back going into that market, investing, because you might have got a return. Obviously, with Chengdu Blaze did pretty well. I think the first couple of seasons at CSL, punched above the weight, I think. But as you say, Chinese football is not the most cleanest of football leagues. We'll call it that.
Yeah, I can imagine. But it's one of them. Sometimes money talks in those leagues. You could even say the same with FIFA, with Sepp Blatter and stuff at the times. I mean, sometimes you think how Qatar got the next World Cup, especially
They bought that.
Yeah, especially with all the grounds what they are now having to build just for it.
Cities, never mind grounds. Building cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Yes. They're literally building a city to unpack it, and then some at grounds will pack them back up after and use them for some and just take them somewhere else and unpack
It'd be
them.
a tremendous shame, though. I hope they do like a Qatarian league or even an interleague with a bordering country. Because I remember South Africa did exactly the same. They built all those new grounds and knocked them all down, apart from the main ones. It's a terrible shame. So I hope they do something about it. Like team up with UAE, do a UAE Qatari league. Give it a shot.
I mean, you could have a podcast, guys, about white elephants. We could have a conversation for hours about different events like Olympics and World Cups and Euros where the bad stadiums built. And I think Brazil's a great example. Olympics and the World Cup, then it's saying a lot of their grounds now have just been left to ruin, basically, which is a great shame.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially Brazil.
Yeah.
Their sport, their only sport in many ways, isn't it? Like we've got rugby and cricket and all that sort of stuff, but for them, it's just football. So why not keep it?
And they believe it, don't they?
Yeah. I feel that's why maybe it's another reason why Qatar shouldn't have had it, because, like you said, will these grounds live? And whereas if you come to England, if you go to Germany, France, etc., there's grounds what are there. There's multiple 30,000 plus seat stadiums, and
accessibility.
And it's grounds what are going to be there after, because it's where teams play. Whereas we're going to a country it's not going to be well known for football, is it? And
it's got its own league, though. To be fair, Qatari All-Star League. It's not. They've got some good players that play out there. To be fair.
Well, again, that with that money, it's a very rich area, really, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's basically oil, isn't it?
Yeah, it says a lot when you can spend this much to build a stadium. What might not last.
Do you guys fancy that next year? Fancy going out there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Jay, mate, I'm same as you. I want to go out there next year. Absolutely.
I'd love to do some blog posts out there of the World Cup 22. I'd love to, but will we? I don't know.
Well, it'll depend a lot of factors, as we know at the moment.
Yes.
So, touching on as well, a couple of weeks ago was the York finals day of the New York game, and a funny story behind it. I was queuing up for my ticket and managed to bump into Dan Mills, and just out the blue. And believe it or not, we ended up getting the tickets and they were sat next to each other. So even if we didn't meet, getting the tickets would have actually sat next to each other in the ground anyway, which was quite ironic.
And so that's when the Snapchat came through to me saying they've just bumped into this Wednesday.
Does not surprise me, Jake, in the slightest. Don't surprise me.
So, what were our first overall thoughts on the new stadium?
You know what? It's a nice ground. It's one of these grounds where You look at Rotherham United's ground, you look at the Keepmoat, you look at Brentford's ground. It's a similar design, like there's multicoloured seats. The one thing I didn't like is that all the different stands were different sizes. I didn't get that. But for York City, obviously they didn't Conference North. If they get up divisions again, it'd be a good league. It'd be a good ground, League One, League Two, and obviously the rugby team playing the Championship as well. So I think it's a lovely ground. But as you guys know, Jake and Ellis, in terms of Bootham Crescent, it's a long way out in it, Ben. Also, like you have to get a bus. You have to get. I know me and you drove, like, but for other people, they have to get train from wherever to York City Centre and then get a bus from York Centre up to the ground. So it's not a bad, but I think a lot of clubs are going down this route where a lot of these grounds are like out of town, built with like different shopping centres, retail. And I think a lot of clubs are going to do that going forward, really.
Boston United, anyone?
You know what? I haven't been there yet.
But that's another example that I'm saying. City Centre gone out. I mean, I know York really well. It's Monk's Cross Shopping Centre.
Correct.
I've been going to York for years, and it's my mum's favourite place when we go there. So I said to her, "Look a lot different next time you go, Mum." But I think again, the ground looks nice. But there's one reason why it's getting heavily criticised. It's because of their old ground. Bootham Crescent was so different, and fans loved it. Without Bootham Crescent, I think it's a nice ground, and it's a nice ground only, not it's out of city centre. It's not like their old ground are for Bootham. You know, and it is a football league ground, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. For argument's sake, when you look at Boston United, also with York Street, which has been demolished as we speak, after they've gone to the, is it Jackman Stadium. I think, I haven't been there. I'm hoping to go next season. A lot of clubs are coming away from like the traditional historical grounds and they're starting to modernise. I'm all for new grounds. You guys probably are, but you can't beat going to an historic ground, which has got a lot of history behind it. Griffin Park as well with Brentford. Yeah. Also, they've gone to their new ground. I just think it's just modern times. I think clubs are moving on, leaving history behind and making new history at brand new stadia.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see if the government and the FA legalised safe standing in the big leagues. I'd be interested to see what new grounds will look like then.
Well, I know Old Trafford and Celtic Park have introduced rail standing. Is that correct?
At Celtic having one section. Old Trafford.
Yeah, I think Old Trafford are going to do the same. Well, they'll take seats out and put rail standing in where people can stand and watch a game instead of seating. A lot of grounds, as you guys know, you go as much of football as I do. A lot of people actually stand when they should sit.
Yep.
So I think a lot of grounds maybe in the future will look towards rail seating to get bigger capacities, more people. You take Borussia Dortmund, for example, and their stand with that rail for 50,000 is amazing, the yellow wall. And I think a lot of clubs might look to and think, you know what, if we can replicate a quarter of that or half of that, we're on to a winner, basically.
Yeah. But I think if they police it correctly as well, because it will increase the capacity a little bit in the grounds, which will mean more money for the owners, which is a good thing for them and for the club.
Yeah.
Which the police inside of it, I think they're obviously too scared because of Hillsborough, obviously. Well, that's what started it all. But if they police it correctly, and why not do it?
Maybe it's a way for, as you say, Jake. It's like, obviously been a Wednesday fan without Hillsborough. I'm only 2 or 3 years old when that happened, and I've done projects on it and seen photos and videos. But I think, no disrespect to the 96, obviously who passed away, I think it's time to move on and to show that people can enjoy football while standing, and this rail seating, rail standing is a progressive way forward. Not forgetting what happened at Hillsborough at all.
No, but in all the other grounds, like Champions League rules state that you have to have seating, but Bundesliga doesn't. That's why the yellow wall comes in. They're all standing.
Yeah,
I'll give another prime example. The Bombonera Stadium in Boca Juniors.
Chocolate
box. It's all standing. Now, is the atmosphere honestly going to be as good as it was on that Copa 90 documentary if they're all sat down?
Probably not, no. Nowhere near.
Could you imagine the Premier League atmospheres if the grounds introduced safe standing? Not every single part of the ground, Or a safe
Maybe-
standing section
maybe
behind the goal.
a corner or like you say, a section at ground behind goal where, like you look like in Italy, the ultras they have a Curda Nord or a Curda Sud, and their atmosphere is amazing because they're all standing, they're all jumping up and down, they're all with pyro and all the rest of it, and a big. I mean, I know Premier League a big thing with pyro and all stuff like that, but if we could just take a little bit of that from Italy and Argentina and bring it to England, more people might go to games and might watch a bit more. Think, because you go to some grounds, Jake, and Ben, you'll know this as well, being a United fan before you got relegated, mate. So I put that in a little bit. You go to grounds like at Liverpool. You go for atmosphere.
Yeah.
And if people are standing open, enjoying themselves, and respecting respecting other people, then I don't see it being an issue at all. But somebody's got to trial it first. And I think Celtic and Man United are going to trial it first and see how it goes. Really.
Fingers crossed.
Going back to, like we mentioned, the stadium as well. So, like we said about Booth and Crescent, it's basically slap bang in the middle of York, and the new one is outside of it. Do you think, like, if we took if you look at the two Sheffield teams, for example, Sheffield United is like in the heart of Sheffield. Sheffield Wednesday's on the outskirts. If you get the train into Sheffield, you can walk to Bramley. You need to get a tram or some other transport to Hillsborough.
A bulletproof bus, maybe.
But it's sort of like, again, because Sheffield United is in the city centre, and with the stuff what's around it, there's only so much you can expand before you have to move. So if you haven't got that space, like, would York have had that space with what was around the ground? Is that one of the main factors why you think a lot of these grounds are now going to sort of the outskirts, because that's where the area is? It's something where they can maybe expand in the future if possible.
I think, in all honesty, the sound of definitely I'm going to say it depends on a city's footprint, borders, Greenland belt, you know what I mean, Beltland, stuff like that. You look at other places like Wigan and Bolton. Again, their grounds are very much built on retail parks as well. Just to name two. I mean, how Sheffield can have two stadiums. We're not that far apart, Ben, to be fair. I know you're more centre than we are. But then you had Don Valley Stadium. There were one upon a time, there were rumours going around that United and Wednesday were going to use Don Valley as a shared stadium. Obviously, it never happened. But again, it depends how far you go out of the city. I mean, some grounds in Europe I've been to, the grounds are miles away from city centre, like Berlin, Marseille, just to name two. You walk in half an hour, 50 minutes just to get to the main ground of that city team. So it all depends on planning permissions, but I'm not going to bore you with that.
And
it's a good point, though.
Well, yeah, because it's like, if you look at Chelsea, for example, I can remember a few seasons back, they tried to get planning permission where they are. And I don't know if it's gone through what's happened with it, but the only way they could extend is a bit like Spurs, maybe knock some of the stand down, move it, because where they're situated, there's sort of things they can't build because of.
In the Battersea, is it Battersea Energy Plant or something? Not far from that ground, I do believe.
Yeah, well, there's that. There's houses. There's a train line behind one of the grounds, and pardon me, it does get rid of the history. It's like with Spurs, they had to demolish. They could expand, but obviously they won't need to. But if they wanted to expand again, what would they do? Could they do it? So I do think, again, it's sort of where the stadiums are based, especially these historic ones. And if you got room for extension, like MK Dons, for example, they could extend that stadium, no problem.
It's on my list. It's on my list for this season. I can't wait to go there. I'll be ringing you about MK.
Lovely ground.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Whatever you do, don't forget to go around the McDonald's. Just walk through the drive-thru. It works.
And obviously fixtures have come out, Ben, for our teams. How did you find first few games? Is it what you expected?
If I'm being quite honest, I saw a couple of people leak sort of the so-called fixtures like a day or two before.
Okay.
And it did turn out to be the first 5 what they said. So
did it?
Yeah, it did get spoiled a little bit, and
yeah,
I feel like, well, it probably happened with a lot of clubs, but there was clearly someone within United what's found these fixtures out before tell somebody, and it's just got spread. But I always like to either finish, like if we start the season at home, I like to finish with an away game, or if we start with an away game, I like to finish with a home. With them both being at home, it doesn't seem that exciting. But if you look at the final game we have is Fulham, and obviously Jukanovic is one of Fulham's old managers. So it's already been brought up to be the Jukanovic derby already. Yeah. So that's the last game of the season, and that if we're promoted, they're promoted, or if there's a chance where whoever wins that gets promoted, it could be the Jukanovic derby with a lot of press. But it's one of them. I look at fixtures. At some point, you got to play everyone.
Of course, you have.
Sorry, go on. The only disappointed one I am with is, again, I think we've only ever played them once on a Saturday in about 20 odd years, and we've got Blackpool away on a Wednesday.
Right.
And that's one of the disappointing ones, because you can imagine Blackpool away on a weekend.
On a weekend.
Maybe full of lads.
Well, it could be worse. It could be Papa John's trophy, guys. Come on now, you got to get it some love. I mean, our Papa John's trophies against
Mansfield.
Mansfield. Yeah, we're playing your boys, Harrogate Town and Newcastle's under 21s. Living the dream. I mean, Papa John's trophy. I can see it in our cabinet now, sparkling at the end of the season. Jake, think about Liverpool's fixtures. Where are you looking forward to? Obviously, next season to go into Liverpool. Any particular grounds or games you think? Oh, I'd like to go watch that for Liverpool next season.
Everton,
yeah.
As you do, yeah.
To Bramley Dock, yeah.
Everton and Man United. Well, I want to see Liverpool Man United fixture in my lifetime, wherever that may be. We went to
Brentford.
Brentford. Yeah, Brentford would be someone I'd like to go see. Yeah, I mean, looking at the teams that you'd be able to get tickets for in the Premier League, I think Burnley would be one I'd like to try and do. Ideally,
I went there. I stewarded one night there, and I got some right abuse at Burnley. One of their stands has got wooden seats from the original stand. Yes. So again, Burnley's ground again is historical. Recommend going there. But like for us at Wednesday, I mean, we've got Charlton away first game of season. Yeah, I'd fancy it. Maybe try and get down and watch first game of season. Yeah. MK Dons, as I've already mentioned, that being a nice trip. Oxford United, Cambridge, but Cambridge on a Wednesday night, so I can't go to that. AFC Wimbledon, obviously the club that rose and rose and rose from the MK Dons / Wimbledon debacle. Yeah. So I've got a few grounds next year to see Wednesday, but at the minute we haven't got many players. So we've got 15 players on books, and I think there's a few more to go yet, and we can't sign players. We've got a transfer embargo.
Oh dear!
So we're struggling already. We're out kicking a ball.
Oh dear! You Chansiri out? You blame him for this?
There's a lot of factors. It's just not about the owner. It's about the running of the club, the people he's got working with him behind the scenes. We've not had a chief executive since Katrina Maeta, the Belgian lady, who left in 2019. We've had a CEO for 2 years. Basically, the club's tried to spend its way like most championship clubs do to get to Premier League. Obviously, 2016, we nearly made it, but the Army had different ideas, like cracking goal, giving me due. And I just think we come to a time where it cycles. Players go to a stage where you think, right, it's time to get rid. And as you guys know, Wednesday released a lot of players in last season. It's time to build again, really. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean,
and I guess he start laughing, being United fan. Oh yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, no players left. Yeah, let's have a good laugh.
No, well, this is the thing, right? And I was speaking to a few of the fellow Blades. I am glad you did get relegated because it made. No, listen out. It made our relegation.
Jake, did you make sure you hear that on record every time now? I'm glad Wednesday got relegated. Remember that.
No, listen. The fact that we got relegated and you did, it cushions the blow a bit for us, I think, because we're still a league above you in with that rivalry. But at the same time, it's like I look at the championship season now, and we've got Huddersfield, which is a local game, but that doesn't excite me as a local game. Barnsley, that'll be a really good local game, but as an away fan, you get lumbered into Barnsley Metrodome. So
it's good that.
It is good, but trying to get a pint and queue back up, 3 hours later, you might get another one. Otherwise, you got 4 pints in your hand and 3 of them are
Again, Oakwell's a lovely old ground. I mean, where I live currently, I'm not far from Oakwell, so I do have a soft spot for Oakwell because it's a lovely old ground.
Well, as a ground, it's good, and especially as an away ground because you can get like 5,000 away fans in it.
Yeah, it Ponty Road end.
Yeah, it's just the policing of it. Like, why does the South Yorkshire Police always have to put Sheffield United fans in Barnsley Metro? Why can't we get allocated a certain few pubs or whatever? So, again, I'm not. It is going to be a good one to go to, but it's not really exciting. Hull, again, it's not the most exciting ones, but it'd be a good piss up. But again, the 2 good games, which are close, are Rotherham and Wednesday, and they both decided they don't want to play us again next season. So
I was going to ask, was Rotherham going down as well? The icing on top of the glad cake?
No, I wanted Rotherham to beat Cardiff in a final game of the season just to make sure Wednesday gets sealed relegation. I was happy for them to stay up.
I don't
see Rotherham as much as a rivalry. A lot of Rotherham fans hate Wednesday more than what they do United.
That's true.
I don't see them as much as a rivalry. But the main one was Wednesday. But it's one of them. I am quite glad we're not playing the game because the last 3's been dull and boring 0-0s. But you can't beat the feeling you get building up to a Sheffield derby at the same time, especially when it's the next game. Everything goes out the window, the kitchen sink and everything. But I don't know. I feel like if you did play us, even though you are in a bit of a mess, that all goes out the window.
Of course it does.
It's 90 minutes, and you kind of issue. It'll be his first game in charge. We haven't got that the motivation like we have anymore. So it's a different ball game.
I am surprised that we've not played him in pre-season. I'm surprised, they've not got ready to go, right, we'll play a pre-season game. It'd be worth it. It'd be worth it. A pre-season game between us, it would be.
But it's one of them, isn't it? Would away fans be able to go to it? Would it be worth it in that aspect? Would it be just
trouble full stop?
Yeah, would it just be...
According to July 19th, after that, all restrictions are lifted. So for me, if Wednesday United played each other, either at Bramall Lane or at Hillsborough, it'd be a good moneymaker either way.
Yeah.
But is that how much you need the money, Dan?
Not me personally, but club might need it, mate. Yeah, ask Chanzili what we need. We signed a kit with Macron this week, which has come out at Blue entirely. We've signed a multi-million or multi-year deal with them, which Macron's not. I'm surprised, but it's not a bad thing. Obviously, as you guys know, Wednesday's financial situation is dire. I'm not going to go into politics because there's a lot of rumours going around Hillsborough at the minute about who's getting paid, who wants to be paid, who aren't being paid. obviously Barry Barron's come out this week and spoke to Athletic about situation behind the scenes. So I'm not going to comment too much on it, but yeah, we're not in the right situation at the minute financially, but most clubs are probably suffering like we are, to be fair, with COVID. I think a lot of clubs have suffered, not just us, but because we're a big club, inverted commas, we weren't at clubs who were going well, we're a bit skinned here. But we'll see what next season brings. Also, we're clear at decks now when we're playing players at a lower rate, apart from Barry Bannon, I do believe, and bringing youth kids through, and we'll just see how we get along. My expectation, Wednesday fan, just to survive, I'll be honest with you. I think if we just survive this season, then we can build again. I mean, you've got Dan McCanton on his podcast saying, oh, Wednesday will go up next year, second favourites. What book's he been reading? What book is he betting on? Because he ain't betting same book as I am. No chance.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is sad for Wednesday though in the third tier, fighting for survival.
But a lot of clubs have been there, Jake. United have been there. We've been there. Forest have been there. Leicester have been there. Leeds have been there. Sunderland are still there. Ipswich are still there. Charlton are still there. Portsmouth are still there.
Yeah.
Hartlepool were fighting to go into the Championship, and look where they are now. Well, they've just been.
Yeah, they beat the goalkeeper Torquay scored. Did you see that?
Yeah,
watched it live, mate. As soon as that ball, that cross started dipping, I thought that's keeper's that, and it wasn't. He scored. I went nuts.
But Hartlepool, I mean, I've been to Hartlepool, and like we beat Hartlepool in League One playoff final about 10 years ago, and it's funny how things have changed since. But I'm glad Hartlepool. It's an Auburn club. Again, Jeff Stein's got a big influence. Also, we know Hartlepool. You know what he's like, Jeff. I think they'll do well next year. I think they'll surprise a few people. I think they might be knocking on the door for League One. Momentum's a big thing.
Yeah. And it is one of them. It's like there's always that one team what you don't expect to do well, what does do well. Like you said, Barnsley reaching the playoffs last year. Even Peterborough getting promoted this year. They wasn't one of the favourites. It were always going to be Sunderland and
Ipswich
and Ipswich and Hull City, and what they've done to get promotion as well. Not just to do it for the playoffs, but earn it themselves. Just shows how well of a season they've had. And no doubt their new striker or something will end up to Brentford.
But Ben, you know this. In League One, you need a goal scorer gets 20 goals a season. If you like Jonathan Clark Harris got 30 odd, 31 for Peterborough last season. And Hull City had what's his name? Marek Wilkes. He banged in 20. If you've got a striker who can put in 20 to 25 goals in that division, you've got half a chance. I mean, you'll know with Sheffield United, we know with Steve McLean, with Chet Evans and that, Dave McGoldrick, just to name a couple there.
Yeah.
If you've got a striker who can bang that amount of goals in, you're halfway there.
But the only issue is when we first re-signed Billy Sharp.
Billy Sharp as well, yeah.
I think he got, in his first season, he got 20 odd goals. I think it might have been 22. And it was worst finish we had in League One under Atkins. So
yeah,
it is true, but you have got to have some sort of solid defence. So
yeah, true.
You can't just be leaking goals because, again, goals win
thing
games.
is, though, Peterborough did. Peterborough's like a basketball team. They're all offence, and then they go, oh, bloody hell, forgot about this back line. But this season, they got away with it. Championship, they might not get away with it.
No.
They might get a few good ideas, but it'll be interesting next season.
One last thing I'd like to touch on, especially before we go into your Wednesday 11, is the Derby situation. So there's speculation that Derby and both Wycombe have two sets of fixtures. So they have the fixtures now, and they're having where Wycombe could have a championship fixture and Derby could have a League One fixtures. What do you think the outcome is going to be in terms of this?
Well, at end of the day, it don't involve us. We're down. I think sporting merit would be that, look what happened to us. We got a 12-point induction the following season after 6. Derby have done more or less the same thing that Wednesday did to avoid FFP. But I do believe Derby have done other bits which they shouldn't have done, which the independent panel may look at docking this season. But it's all a mess. This should be sorted back in last season. So much final whistle went. We knew we were going down. The day after, so we all got in a room and sorted it. It's come to a point now where you think, if you Wickham, you sat there thinking, right, we're playing League One, but we might have played Championship. So do you change your budget? Obviously, get more money from TV. If you Derby, you sat there thinking, it might be League One next season. Half his players might go. Wayne Rooney's kind of said that if they go down, he's going to leave. I mean, if players like Wagon, he'll might go. I can't remember his name. Lawrence as well, the young Welsh lad.
Tom Lawrence.
Tom Lawrence. He might end up going. So he might be short-handed before season starts because of you can't get your finances in order.
Yeah.
It's going to affect fans. Unfortunately, fans always get punished, whether it's Wednesday, Derby. Football fans is a mess. It really is. And end it day, if Derby do get docked this season, then fair enough, but they'll appeal against it. EFL will appeal against it. It might drag on and on and on, and we all know season starts August 7th. There's not long to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like with your points deduction, that's been dragging on for years. It happened years ago, and that took so long for the outcome. And then you got one outcome, you appealed it, it got half.
It goes. Then it gets nasty and it gets vicious. It's like a vicious circle. It goes round and round and round and round. So I think if they make example out of Derby, if they do like they did us in a way, the book needs to stop there and say, look, if any club does this again, this is what's going to happen. There's nothing set in stone. There needs to be a rule where they say, right, if you try and sell your stadium to get round FFP, this is your punishment in black and white.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's the only way it's going to stop other teams trying it. I mean, Derby and Wednesday weren't the first, and if it doesn't change, it probably won't be the last either.
No.
Right, so what we're going to do now, just to finish off with, is I am going to share the screen with you.
Oh.
And we are going to give you...
Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, bless you, Ben. If it does for me with a Wednesday fan, gear up. I feel privileged.
So a Wednesday best 11.
Your best 11 since you started supporting Sheffield Wednesday, along with 3 subs and your favourite manager. And you get to choose the formation as well. It have to be 4-4-2, whatever you like. Well,
I didn't expect having subs, but I can do that. Manager, I've kind of got a good idea. Let's go 4-3-3, please.
Okay. That's interesting. So when did you start supporting him? What
Since
year?
I grew up. Oh,
and what season it was?
So I was born 88. I'd probably say about 95, 94, 95.
No pressure then.
No,
You've seen him in the Premier League.
Yeah, then the Arsenal centre's packing and we haven't been back since. Right, so I'll go on.
We'll start with the goalkeeper. Who you got in mind?
Chris Woods. What a goalkeeper. Ex-England international. I don't know with Chris. Obviously, played for my other club, Rangers. I'm a big Rangers fan as well, so he played for both my clubs. England international, solid goalkeeper. Fantastic goalkeeper.
Chris Woods. Right.
Yep.
We'll start with the back line. Where do you want to go? Left back, right back, centre back?
Left. So let's go left back. Left back will be Roland Nielsen, part of the very famous Sheffield Wednesday 91 team that beat Man United in what was the Rumblers Cup final. It's now the Carabao Cup. We beat Man United that year, believe it or not. Swedish international, very famous Wednesday player, and obviously played for Coventry and he's actually coaching in Sweden now as well.
And left centre back.
Well, they all chant it us, but you never get past Des Walker. So Des Walker goes into centre half. Again, Wednesday legend, England international, and obviously played abroad as well for Sampdoria as well as Nottingham Forest.
When did he retire? Was it 2003?
Yeah, he retired about 2003. Yeah.
You went back to. Did you go back to Forest from Wednesday?
Yes, he did, and I think he's obviously his son. His son Tyler's at Mansfield, or he was at Mansfield.
Tyler, he was, yeah, mate.
Yeah.
He made me dream a little bit.
But yeah, Des Walker, what a legend. So next to him, another legend, Nigel Pearson, club captain in '91. Again, led from the back and from the front. As we know, went on to coach Leicester City to survival. Yeah. Coached in Belgium for Leicester's nursery team, and now is at Bristol City.
Okay, just add on to that as well. One that people don't remember he coached was Carlisle United. And remember what happened on that day in 1999?
Jimmy Glasgow.
Get up there. Get up there.
Get up there. He scored to keep it and make him survive. But yeah, feel forget that one. And then right back is Dan Petrescu. And if you guys remember him, the ex-Romanian international and Chelsea player as well. I think he's coaching Romania at the moment as we speak. He's Dan.
How the hell do we spell that?
It's spelled Pet Rescue. So P-E-T Rescue, Petrescu.
Without the E on the end.
I think so, yeah.
That's it, yeah, Petrescu.
Pet Rescue, that's what Wednesday plays the fun. Hey, it's that damn Pet Rescue, isn't it? And then this one I was between two players, but I punted for Jose Semedo.
Is this at centre defensive mid?
Yeah, I could have put in Carlton Palmer, who's obviously ex-Leeds now a coach at Grantham Town as of next week. And if you guys knew that, Jake, Carlton Palmer come back to England. Mm-hmm. I could have put Carlton, but I thought I put Jose Semedo in because they'll get past Semedo as the cops sing when he used to play for us. And then the two next, Blatchford pass, Johnny Sheridan. Again, part of that 91 team, obviously Wednesday, Leeds United. By God, where anti-coach recently, Swindon, Wigan, coached in Ireland, I do believe, Chesterfield.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's and then next to him, well, I couldn't miss this guy out. Chrissy Waddle, can't miss him out. What a legend! Again, part of 91, part of 93 team that unfortunately got beat by Arsenal twice in two cup finals. We all know Chris, obviously Geordie, played for means a legend in Marseille. Absolute legend. They love him over in France. Mr. Penalty, 99 in Turin, unfortunately. Never mind. And then one of the strikers, so what happened there? Sorry, guys. I apologise for that. My phone call. So let's go left-hand side. We'll go Benito Carboni. Part of the Italians that invaded Hillsborough.
This is NE, mate. It's one N and E.
Yeah, I can barely see that screen, so I'm glad Jake's getting spelling right. Cheers, mate, for that.
Played for Bradford, I think, and all, didn't he?
Yeah, Benito played at Bradford, and he's been coaching Italy. I think he's Serie B, Serie C. We've linked with Wednesday a few times, to be fair. But obviously Wednesday have gone down different routes, especially last season. Better go around, weren't it? And then other side, Paolo Di Canio. You cannot not put him in. I mean, we all know Paolo, Maverick, come from Celtic with a big reputation. Obviously, we all know he pushed referee over as well. Didn't help. Went on to West Ham, then went on to Lazio. I think he's now punditry in Italy as well as we speak. And then the main absolute legend of all different clubs. And then up front, the main striker, good old David Hurst. David Hurst, again, a Wednesday legend, goal-scoring machine. Left under a cloud at Southampton, and as we know, his son did play for Wednesday, but again, left under a cloud. He's now at Leicester City, was at Rotherham United on loan last season. Didn't do that much, which is a shame, but if he's half a player his dad is, then half a player his dad was, then he'll do all right for himself.
Yeah. Who's going to be free subs then?
Oh, that's going to be a question now. So, substitution-wise, I'd have a goalkeeper. That would be Kieran Westwood. He's always been a good backup goalkeeper. Unfortunately, Kieran's left this season. So
keeper.
Trying to think, picking my brains here. Trying to think. Number 2 subs will probably Andy Booth, striker, Boothie. We all know obviously Boothie's more Huddersfield than Wednesday, but obviously it come to Wednesday with a big reputation. Did well, to be fair. And then another one I would say would be trying to think. You know what? Let's put Carl Palmer on bench. I know I couldn't get him into my team, but we'll put him on bench for definite.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to better mind you, aren't you? Well, we could have one from this season. There's been plenty going around at Hillsborough management wise. But you've got to put Big Ron Atkinson in there. Again, absolute legend. I mean, I could have had Tony Pulis, I could have had Danny Wilson, I could have had Carlos, David Pleat, Peter Shreves, just to name a few. But you've got to put Big. You've got to. Gary Megson, but
Josh Lukai.
Yeah, Lukai. Yeah, just to name a few more. Who else would have? Tony Pulis, Gary Monk, but no, it's got to be Big Ron all the way. Yep. Again, legend at Hillsborough. You're that good at it. They asked him to come back twice. But yeah, I mean, obviously, again, took us to Wembley in 91. Won, obviously, beat Man United. I keep harping about it, Ben, but that's all I think we're famous for, mate. We haven't won no else apart from that, to be honest. I mean, I could have Paul Sturrock when we won in 05 at playoffs, but
Sturrock, yeah.
I think Big Ron do well with that team, to be honest. That's my Wednesday 11 plus the 3 subs. I think it's not a bad team. You know, obviously, the Wednesday fans will debate that and say, "Oh, you should put this player and that player in." But
yeah, well,
that's my team.
Not many recent players, to be fair, I have to say as well. But then again,
I'm not being controversial.
No,
but I mean, you could have had Jordan Rhodes in there. You could have had a few others from this season.
Forestieri was one I was going to mention, maybe.
Yeah,
Forestieri were good, but I don't know. It went off ball a bit towards the end, Jake, to be honest. But I remember the Wednesday team in the 90s to just before we got relegated.
Yeah.
I went to those as a kid watching these players like Chris and David Hurst, Benito, Paolo, and Des Walker. And I didn't see Chris, but they're the players I kind of reminisce about when Wednesday were good, when Wednesday were in better times than we are now, to be fair.
Yeah. No, fair play.
And another one, well, what I'm going to question you on is Nigel Worthington. I mean,
Nigel, you know what? I nearly put him in instead of Dan Petrescu, but I just like Dan Petrescu as a player. He played well for Wednesday in the early 90s, always solid. I'd say and I think his name's pretty cool, Dan Petrescu. I think that's pretty cool as well, to be fair. You know what I mean? It's something a bit different in it, to be honest. But yeah, Nigel Worthington would have been a good shout. You know,
one last shout from me, mate. It's a goalkeeper. Now, Kieran Westwood, I agree with. I don't know Chris Woods, but Kevin Pressman.
Kevin, again, I was split between Woodsy and Prezi, but I just think Chris Woods, obviously England international, played for Club Rangers as well. So got a big soft spot for Chris Woods, to be fair.
No, fair play.
And last one from me is...
Last one from me, would it beat Sheffield United? All hands down it would, yeah.
is Mikel Antonio. Again,
Mikel Antonio did well, but he come... how can I put this very controversial? He come to us, not many people knew about him. He come to us and we made him a little bit better and then he moved on. But I don't think he's better than Chris Waddle, mate. I don't think he's better than John Sheridan. Absolutely nowhere near.
So one more just come to my head just as a fairly an average one, but Marcus Tudgay.
Marcus Tudgay.
Or is that a mile way off?
No, Marcus Tudgay wouldn't be thinking. I mean, scored against Sheffield United a few times, which weren't a bad thing. That goal was great. But I just with David Hurst, is Wednesday through and through. I mean, he was at club for just short of 10 years. Obviously, George, his son, played for Wednesday as well. And David Hurst is a natural born goal scorer, to be fair. But I think David deserves to be in my 11, to be fair, with Marcus Tudgay.
Darren Pearce just come to me as well. Was he a long-term player?
Darren Pearce, ex-captain, played all right, passionate, but like Wednesday always said about Des Walking, I get past our Des.
Yeah. Fair play. That's enough from me.
I think the only one I can remember what a lot of Wednesday lads used to go on is it Reader Johnson?
Yeah, he's just gone to Dover as a assistant manager. I mean, Reader were in Crowd, I think, when we got promoted to Championship against Wickham. We were in Crowd, I do believe. Again, really good player, but as I say, like I said to Jake as well, I'm more from the 90s team. I grew up in 90s, and I think watching them Wednesday teams in Premier League and beating the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool and them big clubs every week. I mean, I could be up front. I could put something called Mike. What's his name now? De Greiser, ex-Belgian international. He was a good player in 90s, but again, David Hirsch just about does it for me, to be fair, every time.
Yeah.
What an awful 11 that turned out to be.
I'm not going to comment on that. I'll let you have a bit of banter because you're United. I'll let you have 2 minutes of fame. You're all right.
Hey, well, you said would it beat any United team? So give it.
You know what? It'd be good to see if like your United team is my Wednesday. It'd be quite a good battle. That, to be fair, it'd be decent. I think you mentioned a podcast. I think you mentioned a podcast about Masters football. I do miss that because that
was fantastic. Awesome. Absolutely fantastic.
Wednesday team with these like Benny Carboni played and a few others, and you thought that's when Wednesday had a good team. That's when fans used to go and shout and scream 50, 40, 1,000 Hillsborough every week. And as a Wednesday fan, that's what I miss, because you look at next season, guys, and we're in League One and we haven't got much money. And we're signing free agents. Well, we're trying to sign free agents, and like you said, Jake, it's a big shame we're down there, but every biggest club goes through it. Like we mentioned, Leicester, Forest, Leeds, Ipswich are there, Portsmouth are there, Charlton are there. We could be here till 9, 10 o'clock talking about it, but every team goes through it, big clubs. And
yeah,
am I confident about next season? I'm half and half. I mean, some fans will go, "Oh, you're talking rubbish. Oh, we'll get top 6, we'll get playoffs, or we'll get top 2." For me, it's just about levelling off. If we finish mid-table, so be it. We can build for the season after and hopefully push on into coming years. But yeah, it's one of the things, isn't it? It's like we've all said, end of the day, 3 clubs go up, 3 clubs go down. And we finished rock bottom, and in all honesty, we deserved to go down. Deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben's agreeing. He's laughing. I know he's laughing, sniggering it back. I know he would. He loves it.
It's not been a good year for Sheffield football. I mean, it says it all. The null and void of Sheffield FC, who are flying the flag when we got Wednesday United have gone down, and Rotherham as well. You could add on to that.
Yeah, I think South Yorkshire's suffering. Apart from Barnsley at the minute, flag on there, as you say, in Sheffield itself, it's suffering. But like every great city, it'll bounce back. And Wednesday will bounce back. United will bounce back. Sheffield Club, they'll hopefully get in a good run and get up to division. But I don't think for FC they want to do that. I think they're happy where they are, not spending beyond the means. And I think when this you've just took it in their mouth. Yeah. When that new ground gets done, I'll be there knocking on saying, "Please let me in." So I'll be going there. I think it's great that Sheffield's got another historic club over the new ground. Allen FC, same again with curtailment. But let's hope, touch wood, next season everything's back to normal and fans can go to games and cheer and shout the players and everything else that goes with it. And let's hope we can have a normal season with normal things happening, really. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, mate.
Absolutely.
Sure. Get some normality back.
That's the word, isn't it? Normality. And I hope it'll come sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Just locking Belgium and Portugal 0-0, by the way, at the moment.
Right, so...
Who do you think will win that, by the way? Who do you think will win that game tonight? Any ideas?
That's hard, that is. That is hard. So I think it could be a penalty shootout.
I think Belgium win extra time.
Belgium, 2-1.
Yeah, I agree. So I'll agree with you, mate, but for this occasion, yeah.
Oh dear. Right, so what we're going to do, one last thing, just before we go, who's going to win the Euros?
Oh, what a question. I think it's the team we're watching now. I think Belgium will win it.
Okay.
But England will be close.
How close?
Final.
Runners up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
I still think whoever beats France are going to have the medals around the necks, me personally.
Good shout.
I do. We'll see.
Well, if you saw the podcast when we did the England Best 11 with Sean and Luke, I also said we would be runners up. And I think now we're in the round of the 16 and Netherlands just lost the Czech Republic. It's opening up for us to get to the final. It's just now we've got to take it game by game still, and we've still got to beat one of our biggest rivals on the world stage, Germany. And if we do that, by all means, with the Wembley crowd, I know the quarterfinals, we won't be playing at Wembley, which
playing
could be
Rome. Playing Rome. I think it's Ukraine or Sweden.
Yeah, Ukraine. But if we beat them in semi-finals, finals, both at Wembley,
back home.
Yeah, we've got a great chance, especially if we
I have to
reach
say,
the
though,
semi-finals.
one
60,000,
thing-
is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I have to say one thing, though, about the creativity in the England team. We've scored 2 goals in 3 years. We haven't let any in, which is very good.
Mm.
One thing we've got to remember is Harry Kane was top scorer at the 2018 World Cup. But if you remember what system he was playing then and what system he's playing now, could that be the answer?
To be honest with you, though, Harry Kane, he looks knackered, guys. He looks like he's had a season and a half. Obviously most teams have had a season and a half condensed into one, and I think he's frustrated. He's coming so deep for the ball that then there's no way playing off him.
Yeah, and you're
Like
right. And I think
Spurs-
obviously there's questions about his future as well, which must be putting him
don't
off.
help. Like at Spurs, he had Son Min, he had Gareth Bale playing alongside him or and behind him or up in front of him. So he had players to play off, and I don't think with England he's got that. I mean, there's Sterling, there's Rashford, just to name 2. There's a few more like Mason Mount getting up there, but we'll see. Like I say, the biggest obstacle is tomorrow. Not tomorrow, sorry, Tuesday against Germany. If we beat Germany, then we can start thinking, you know what, Sweden or Ukraine, we can have a go. But if we get beat, then you might as well draw curtains now and pull blinds down.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So we can definitely beat Germany, I think. We've got a great chance.
Yeah, agreed. We've got to start, like Czech Republic, start well, start quick, get ball to Sterling, get ball into Kane, get ball into other players, and let's see what happens. Let's just take it to him and see how far we get.
Let's get behind the players that Southgate picks. I personally wasn't disappointed Saka was in the team. I know he's a good player. He's a very good player. Honestly, you've got to put some respect on his name, and he delivered brilliantly.
He did
in that game.
Quick, pacey, skillful, good footballing brain. He's only 19.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Jude Bellingham get a chance though, and
Yes.
and who forgets Jadon Sancho? They're both playing in Germany. They both
That
play.
could be interesting one. It
They
could be his
play
game.
for
This,
Dortmund.
yeah, it could be his game. This Sancho.
Inside knowledge. You've got it. You've got to tap into the brains. You've got to say, look, you play in Germany. You play against these national players. What can we do to beat them with your knowledge? To me, you're playing both, or at least give one a start, bring other one on. I mean, I know Sancho's going to Man United, I believe, 77 million quid. Do you think he's worth that, really? 77 million for an English international?
It's hard, isn't it? Look.
Funny thing is, though, Man City will get some of that from the sell-on fee, so they're doing City a favour. They'll get a percentage. I think it's about 10-20%, I believe.
Cheers, mate. You just paid for Harry Kane.
Yeah. Cheers, Ollie. Oh, we can see Pep Guardiola. Money coming in. Oh, cheers, Ollie. Be nice for him, that. But, I mean, we could sit and debate about how much English players are worth. We could be there all night, talk about that. But I think teams like Sweden, Ukraine, Czech Republic, there's definitely players out there who are coming to the fore now, which I think English teams will have a look at and think, you know what, instead of getting X player, we might get a player from over there because he's cheaper. He might. He won't be well known then, but he kind of is now because he's playing at Euros. He's got a grand stage to play on.
Yeah, Patrick Schick will get a big money move to Premier League next season.
What a player! What a player!
Also a big Spanish club, yeah.
Yeah, that goal going in Scotland, that were fantastic. I mean, he's taken one look and gone, right, march off his line, let's try it. And I think he's joint top goal scorer, I do believe, with Ronaldo at the minute.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens tonight. But
he scored again tonight, I think.
Yeah, he did. Cracking goal again. I think he's, like you say, Jake, Spain, Germany, England, they'll be all vulturing around him, definitely. I think Slavia Prague will make a killing.
Right.
Do not take them lightly, that's all I'll say.
Yeah. Right, we'll wrap it up there, mate. And
awesome.
Yeah. We'll go and see what the results are of the final game. Well, of tonight, anyway.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks for your time again. Much appreciated.
Thank you for coming on again, mate.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Fantastic.
If you ever want any third go at it, give me a shout. Always welcome to contribute and talk more football. And you never know, by time the Cambodian team might win a few games. We might be up there, say, staying relegation at face, but we'll see.
Right. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate your time. Take care. Look after yourself. Take care.
Take care.